Hey guys, this is Brian with Inspiring How You See That. We're the channel that talks about all different kinds of music and entertainment and interviews some of your favorite artists. And with that in mind, today a very special guest. We have two of the members of Seventh Day Slumber and father and son duo.
Yep.
So we have Joe and Blaise Rojas. And guys, thank you so much for spending this time with us.
Hey, thanks for having us.
And you guys just finished your show here in Transfer, PA. So
Yes.
how did that go?
No one threw anything at us. We're here. So, we had a good time, and it seemed like the crowd had a good time. But the most important part of that was that lives were changed, and you're hanging out backstage with us. So if you hear some noises on the camera, it's people coming in and out of the backstage area. This is VIP right here.
That's right. That's right. That's life. That's how it is.
No, we had a blast. It was an amazing time, and lives were changed. God moved, and man, what more can you ask?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, you guys are kind of right in the middle of your tour right now. So what has been, I would say, probably the most interesting thing that's happened on this particular tour?
Blaise?
Yeah, this is actually the direct middle of this tour. So
Okay.
this is the
Perfect.
middle, but it wasn't last night. The night before, we got stuck in a church. It wasn't their parking lot, it was their grass, so their yard. It was a little bit rainy, so the grass was wet, and we were trying not to hit the side of their
I did
wall.
that.
And we turned a little too much, and the wheel ended up in the grass. And
Yeah, it was rainy, and the grass came out of nowhere.
yeah, I think
And,
it showed up there. I don't know who put the grass there.
No, our bus driver she's a talented individual. She's been driving for years, and she drives buses for. I say they're tour buses. Ours is a tour bus, like a band tour bus.
Sure.
Hers is like a tour bus with like a bunch of people in it, and they go on tours.
Oh, okay.
So
like Grand Canyon tours?
yes,
and things
like that kind of
Okay.
tours. And so she's very, very talented, very, professional. But I've been driving buses for a long time too. And so I just figured I'd just pull us out of there and save her the trouble of doing it. And I ended up in the grass, and the bus just sank like quicksand. And I was like, wow, here's another person running into our... Hey, y'all want to see something cool on this camera? Tyler, come here real quick. We're going to make this interview fun. Since you want to crash our interview, man.
That's what you get.
This is Tyler right here. Show look in that camera and show us what you reach down here. Come here.
Got some lights.
This is Tyler.
What are you guys talking about?
This is
Talking about
Tyler.
you.
No, nothing. We weren't talking about
That's
anything.
why it wasn't important.
So he's the guy that makes everything happen.
So Tyler is actually our tour photographer. He takes amazing photos. Yeah, come on here, stand here, Tyler.
Hey, Tyler.
Tyler, what's the coolest thing about me? We just took over your
Probably
interview.
your dashing good looks.
Thank you. You
And,
can leave
the
now.
fact that you're shorter than me.
Oh, you were so close.
He was doing good. He was doing so good.
All right, get out of
You got a
here.
good beard going, too.
So
Long story short, we left a crater in the church.
we left the crater in the church. I was trying to avoid having to say all of that. That's why I brought him in.
And now they need a new photographer.
Yeah. And probably another place to play after what we did with that church. Pastor did walk, he did drive back up because it was late at night. We had already been kind of dismissed and everything. And we just said, yeah, Pastor, we're just going to get a couple things ready and then we'll drive off. But he came back and we were stuck. There was a police officer there, and Pastor, I said, I'm so embarrassed and I'm so ashamed. And we'll pay for it. He's like, look, y'all blessed my church. You blessed me. Don't worry about this. And we were like, man.
Grass grows back.
Well, until we drove off and got out of there and we saw what we did. And I was like, Pastor, if he saw this, he'd be taking those words back. So I got to call Pastor tomorrow.
And they took our driver away in a cop car.
Yeah.
They were escorting her to the hotel room.
Yeah.
That we know of.
All right, next question. You're going to get us locked up.
So, Blaise, this one's for you. How is it, you're in a band, the lead singer's your dad. How has that been?
It's awesome. It's touring is kind of all I've known my whole life because me and my brothers have been on a bus since we were babies. But the fact that I get to play in a band with him and not just get to travel is super cool because all the stories and all the different just relationships we've made and places we've seen and just all the stuff we've done together it's awesome.
Nice.
It's something like I've never done before, so it's really cool.
Awesome. And Joe, kind of similar to you.
Yeah.
How does it feel to turn around? Not only do you have your oldest son on drums, but your wife is actually helping manage, and she's here with you.
She's our tour manager, and she does such an amazing job. She's not just our tour manager. Like we have been on tours, a lot of tours, like the City Rock Fest tours that we would do. Would have Disciple and Decipher Down, Seventh Day Slumber, Project 86, Wolves at the Gate. Like all of us be on this big tour, and she's the tour manager for that whole tour as well.
Okay.
So, but she is definitely our tour manager. She is an amazing tour manager. And she's my wife, so I get to be with her all the time. It's amazing. And then to travel with my son is like, I get to travel with all three of my sons. So Blaise is the drummer. That's our sound engineer over here. But Blaise is not just it's not just awesome to look back and go, that's my son playing drums.
Right.
It's awesome to play in a band with a drummer as good as him.
Sure.
Like he is literally, like he plays in other bands and stuff. This is his main gig, right?
Right.
But he plays in Spoken. He plays in Manic Drive. He's played for Stars Go Dim. He played for Sean Locke. He's played for just about everybody. Maybe not Sean Locke. Did you play for Sean? So, okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So he's played for just about everybody, but we get to have him in our band.
Nice.
Right? And so it's amazing to play in a band with the best drummer I've ever played with and one of the industry greats. I'm not just saying that because he's my son and he's,
Sure.
He really is one of the industry greats, but he's my son. And I get to look back and I'm like, that's my kid, dude. Yes.
And you did. You're awesome up there. I mean, a ton of energy. It was fun watching you.
Thank you so much.
So have you always wanted to be a drummer since you were a little kid, hanging out with Dad? Has that been the path you always wanted to take?
Not drumming, but I knew I wanted to do music. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I tried a lot of different instruments. I tried guitar, bass, piano. I even tried violin for a little bit. That didn't last very long. I wish I stuck with it though. I love violin.
Yeah, violin's awesome too.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, I tried a lot of different instruments and stuff, and it wasn't until I was about 10 when I tried drums. It was during sound check. They were like, "You want to come and try to play the drums?" And I was like, "Sure." And I just kind of loved it. I just ended up sticking with it. And our old drummer, Jamie Davis, he's actually a pastor in California now, but
nice.
He helped me out for about a year. He gave me lessons. Like he'd come over to our house every week and he'd give me lessons and stuff. And he just helped me out a lot. And so eventually, when he went to be a pastor, I tried out. I didn't make it the first time, actually. He told me I wasn't ready yet, and so, which I'm glad. In the moment, I was like, oh, man, why?
But it pushed you.
But it pushed me, and
Yep.
I ended up trying out again with a couple other people, and I ended up getting the job. And so now I've been playing drums for Seventh Day Slumber since I was 13. So.
Nice.
Yeah, it's tough to tell your kid, hey, look,
No.
you're
Not
not
good
there
enough.
yet. Because it's one thing to go, oh, look how cute, he lets his son play a song during this.
Right.
Because he would come up and play a song. I realized back then that when he was 11, like he wasn't just, oh, look how cute this kid's playing a song. Like he was really playing, and people were going, what? That kid's 11? But he wasn't at that level yet where Jamie, our drummer, was, or
Sure.
where other drummers were. And so but I had him, I said, look, you're not ready yet. This is what Daddy does for a living, and so if you want to, you're close, but you're going to have to practice more. But he went, and we had another guy filling in for a while. And a couple of drummers, actually, like Lou Santiago and a couple of other guys that just filled in. They weren't in the band. And then we held auditions, and he auditioned with two other grown men. And it was hands down, he was the guy.
Nice.
He just practiced so hard. It was awesome.
Nice.
So he's keeping us on beat every night and doing his thing.
Nice. And Joe, I saw in a video, and you talked about it tonight in your show. You had a history. You had crime and drugs in your life when you were younger.
Yeah.
And if you wouldn't mind, just kind of a brief how Christ delivered you through that.
Well, I started using drugs when I was about 12 years old. I grew up without a dad, a single mom, and But we stayed with babysitters, and they used to abuse us and stuff. And finally, my mom, she pulled us out of there, and when she found out about it and stuff, and so we started staying by ourselves. And at that point, I started running the streets my older brother was kind of supposed to be watching us, but he was going through his own stuff too.
Sure.
So I hung out with the wrong crowd, kind of looking for a father figure, hanging out with older kids in the neighborhood. I started using drugs and alcohol when I was 12. I became a cocaine addict probably in my teens. 14 is when I found cocaine. But locked up, in and out of like behavioral centers and like juvenile stuff until I was about 18, and then I was locked up in big boy jail. And just in trouble with the law since. And I was almost 22, and my mom had given her life to Jesus when I was 18. I was about 22, and I made the decision to take my life out of $400 a day cocaine addiction. And in the back of an ambulance, my mom found me after a suicide attempt. She found me. She called the paramedics, and they saved my life, basically, in the back of the ambulance. And I felt the hand of God, and I gave my life to Jesus in the back of an ambulance, and woke up in the intensive care unit. And my mom, she just kept praying for me, and that was my journey. And it took me a couple of years to get completely clean off of dope. I'd do real good for a while. I was going to church and stuff, and then I'd fall, but I'd get back up. I had good people that just believed that God has a plan for me and kept encouraging me in that. And now I'm married, got 3 kids. They all 3 of my kids travel with me. My other 2 kids are part of the road crew, and my wife Lori is a tour manager, and so I get to travel with my family, and it's amazing. That's how God will do you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So no matter where you are or what you've done, it's not too late.
Yeah.
I mean, Christ is always there. He loves you, like you talked about today. He wants you. He desires you.
Yeah.
So that's incredible. Thank you for sharing that.
It's an honor, man.
Absolutely. And Blaise, how does that make you feel, hearing that your dad went through that and now he's the man that he is today?
It's crazy because it's not only, I've grown up hearing that story my whole life, and it's amazing to see where God has taken him, but it's also a blessing to be able to see stuff that he's gone through while I've been alive and have known him, and seeing the stuff that he's still gone through and realize like I'm messing up and this is not what I should be doing, but I'm not going to give up and I'm going to keep doing this, and then God getting him through it, and now he's even better than he was before then. So it's awesome.
Nice.
Man.
Nice. And I got to ask, and you and I kind of talked right before we started. You've got the GFM shirt on. As you guys know, we interviewed, we become friends with them. How did you get close with them? You're in a ton of their videos, so anybody who's seen them has seen you.
Yeah. So we actually took them on their first tour back in 2017, and all 3 of them are around the same age as me and my brother, who's walking out of that door right now.
That's why you heard the door open and close.
As a matter of fact, Caden, come here real quick. He's going to finish talking about GFM, but I'm going to get Caden real quick because you heard me talk about my other son.
Hey, Caden.
What's up?
Good to meet you. I'm Brian.
How's it going?
This is Caden. Look in that camera, son.
Looking right there?
Yeah.
What's up?
All right. You don't know what to say?
Oh no, I just kind of got thrown in there.
All right.
Well, thanks for joining.
Caden's let's have a hand for Caden. That's my middle son. He's 17 years old, but GFM.
We're all really close in age, and so we were raised similarly and did a lot of the same stuff, and we bonded over Call of Duty. So
Nice.
we've just been really close with them since then, and we've taken them on a few other tours. And
Yeah.
But,
Blaise, Caden, and Sage are all great friends with GFM, and Lori and I are great friends with Mark and Cindy, their parents.
Sure.
So we're all, it's a family. So, yeah.
Nice.
All of us.
Nice. So before we go, guys, is there anything that you would like to say to your fans?
I mean, Blaise, anything you want to say? We love you. And we appreciate all the support, but we also want you to know that not only do we love you, but you're loved by a God who will never leave you. You're loved by a God who, even no matter how many mistakes you've made, he's got his arms open wide for you. You haven't done too much to be out of the reach of God. So know that we love you, but more importantly than that, know that there's a God who loves you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you said it.
I did say it, Blaise.
You concur.
I concur. I agree.
And where can fans follow you guys online at?
Instagram, you can follow us at Seventh Day Slumber. Facebook,
yes.
yeah, Facebook, same thing. So you can follow us on seventhdaysummer.com, see all of our tour dates and everything that we're up to. But yeah, Seventh Day Slumber on everything except Twitter. We don't have Twitter anymore.
No, we denounce Twitter.
I agree with you. Twitter.
We stand in solidarity with all our conservative brothers and sisters.
There you go.
We did erase our Twitter. We had almost 30,000 Twitter followers, and we were like, they took some people
Like enough's enough.
Yeah, we took some people that we really that are partners with us.
Yep.
They took them down for talking about some Jesus and keeping it real, and some of our pro-life friends took them down, and so we had to stand in solidarity. But don't get me started on that.
Well, guys, thank you so much. This has been amazing. We really appreciate it. And I'm telling you guys, you got to see them live. That show was phenomenal.
Oh, thank you.
My parents came with me. We all loved it. And so thank you so much for this time. We appreciate it. And as always, thank you guys for spending this time with us. We love you so much. God bless and rock on.